Happy morning, happy afternoon, and happy evening to my Nanbas and Nanbis. I'm gonna cover 30 marks in 90 minutes in this video. You have just 1.5 days for your exams, and I'm not gonna take much of your time, guys. Just see 2 minutes of this video and decide for yourself whether you want to watch the entire video or not. It is completely left up to you, it is your choice only, guys. What I'm basically going to do in the video is I put this expected questions of approximately 40 questions covering from all the 5 chapters in the subject strategic management, and you all asked me to revise these expected questions. So I am going to revise each and every question which is there here. I'm gonna take approximately 2 minutes for each of the question, which makes it approximately 90 minutes to cover the entire expected questions, guys. For this, I am going to use my material. The most important thing in this material is I have highlighted the keywords in red, which will be very important in your presentation also. Now, you decide how you want to proceed forward, whether you want to see this video, pause in between and just study along with the video, or just keep doing a tick mark activity if you know it and keep marching forward, guys. But the most important thing is, if you see something new, please don't panic. This video is not for that at all. Please have this mindset that at least now you are able to study this and quickly study this and keep moving forward, guys. So let's get into this chapter number 1. In this chapter number 1, there are about 7 questions. I'm going to start off with the first question. What is strategy? Before I go to what is strategy, I want to tell you what is there in chapter number 1 and what are the questions you can expect from chapter number 1. What is management is a question they can ask. What is strategy? What is strategic management? Then comes what are the strategic levels? There are 3 levels given here, and there are relationships between these 3 levels. Then comes strategic intent, which is talking about vision, mission, goals, objectives, and values. Now our first expected question is, what is strategy? Here there are 10 points. I am going to read the text of these 10 points. Definitely it is going to be hard if you're going to read this for the first time, but I'm also going to tell you memory techniques, that is mnemonics, how to remember this, and I have this summary note for what is strategy, which will be helpful for you. Now I'm going to read the text first. The first one is, in the context of business, the application of term strategy means how to respond to the dynamic and hostile external forces while pursuing the vision, mission, goals, and objectives. Second point, strategy seeks to relate the goals with the means of achieving them. Third point, strategy is the game plan for COMA. What is COMA? Compete successfully, conduct its operations, objectives, market position, and attract and satisfy the customers. That is COMA with 2 C's. The fourth point is that there is a long range blueprint of 3D, that is desired image, direction, and destination. Fifth, strategy is a consciously desired and flexible design scheme for them. What is them? Directing the human efforts. H is handle the events and problems, utilize the opportunity, mobilize the resources, and meet the challenges and threats. The next is framework for top management for SWOT analysis. What is this SWOT analysis? Strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. Strategy is no substitute for sound, alert, and responsible management. Strategy is a partly proactive and partly reactive. Proactive means before anybody does it, you are the first mover advantage and you are doing it first. Reactive means somebody has done it, now you're scared, and because of that you are doing. That is reactions to unanticipated developments and fresh market conditions. The ninth point is, it can flow from both previously initiated actions or new decisions. And the last point is, it can be from past. Things cannot happen fully anticipated or planned for, so you will be using crafting a strategy involves a proactive or intended strategy based on successful experiences. Now we have read the text. Now I'm going to tell you how to remember these 10 points. The first one is talking about the interaction of the business with the external environment. Second point is talking about the goals and the means to achieve them. Third is talking about the game plan for COMA. COMA, conducting operations, compete successfully, organizational objective, market position, and attract the customers. COMA with 2C, long range blueprint for 3D, desired image, direction and destination. Conscious and flexible design for them, directing the human efforts, handle events and problems, utilize opportunity, mobilize resources, and meeting the challenges and threats. Strategy is not a substitute for responsible management. It is an integrated framework for top management. Strategy can be partly proactive, partly reactive. Strategy stitches together proactive and reactive elements. The current strategy is based on past actions and new decisions. Now, quickly, please take a screenshot of these 10 points for what is strategy. Easily, you will remember at least 8 of these 10 points, guys. Now, going forward to the second question in chapter number 1. What is management? What are its interrelated functions? And it ranges from what? Now coming to what is management, it is a key group in an organization in charge of affairs. It is basically the heart of the company, that is, this is a chief organ entrusted with the task of making it purposeful and productive entity. What it does, it basically takes all the disorganized resources of the manpower, money, material and technology and make it into organized resources. It is a set of interrelated functions for planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. How are you going to remember this? In 12th standard business studies, if you remember the chapter names, it starts off with planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. It's just the chapter name in your 12th standard business studies. So these functions include planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. They range all the way from determination of the goals, mobilization and acquisition of resources, design of the organization, allocation of tasks and resources and the control system, that is control mad goals. Now there are a few mnemonics only in chapter number 1. Promise, only in chapter number 1. There are about 10 mnemonics. If you want, you like this method of study, you please read this. Otherwise, no stress at all. You can just ignore the mnemonics, guys. Now, what is management? Let's quickly see the summary notes which is given here. It is a key group in an organization in charge of affairs. It is the chief organ, you have to write. Integrates the disorganized resources, that is man, material, machine and technology, into organized resources. It is a set of interrelated functions and process for planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling, and it ranges from installation of control system, mobilization of resources, allocation of tasks, design of organization and determination of the goals. The third question, the expected question list is, what is strategic management? What is the objective? There are 2 objectives. And managerial process of what? Managerial process of voices. Let us quickly see what is there in strategic management. The overall objectives of strategic management are twofold. I told you there are 2 strategic management objectives. The first one is to create a competitive advantage. The second one is to guide the company successfully through all the changes which is happening in the environment. Change is the only constant, guys, and environment, especially nowadays, technology is taking over. There are so many changes which is happening in the environment. Now, if you have a strategy, the strategy is going to guide the company how to swim through all the changes which is happening to the environment. That is, it will tell the company how to react in the right manner. These 2 are the objectives of strategic management. Now they're going to ask, what is strategic management? It refers to the managerial process of developing voices. What is this voices? Developing a strategic vision, setting objectives, crafting a strategy, implementing and evaluating strategy, and finally initiating corrective action. How are you going to remember these points? Now you all tell me, you had a vision of becoming a chartered accountant. To achieve that vision, you have objectives. Objectives are time based. You have time based objectives. That means by this time I want to finish inter, by this time I want to finish articleship, by this time I want to finish final, so that I can achieve my vision of becoming a chartered accountant. You have all of those things. That is setting the objectives. Now after setting the objectives, you have to craft a strategy. That means I'm going to watch so many hours of classes. I'm going to do so many RTPs, so many MTPs. Like that, you're going to craft a strategy. Now just because you make a plan, you're not going to become a chartered accountant. You have to implement the strategy and evaluate the strategy. And then most importantly, can you always implement as per the plan? No, you will go away from the plan slightly. That time you have to initiate corrective adjustments also. These 5 points covers the definition of the term strategic management voices. That is strategic vision, setting objectives, crafting a strategy, implementing and evaluating the strategy, and finally initiating corrective actions. Next question here is, what is strategic business unit? Now, when you have to understand what is strategic business unit, you have to understand this, that nowadays every big company like Tata and all, they are going to have so many divisions under them. Tata has TCS, Tata has Westside, Tata has Zudio, Tata has also Starbucks. So they are into restaurant business, they are into textile business, they are into consultancy business. They have cars also. Tata Motors is also there. So they have so many businesses under them. Each business is going to be a strategic business unit where they are going to have a separate cost center, where they are going to have a separate profit center. Now an organization is divided into number of segments that work together to basically bring a product or service to the market. For this, they are going to use their competitive advantage to achieve higher profitability. Now, if you understand the meaning of what is strategic business unit, easily you can write these 2 points, guys. Next is what are the strategic levels and relationships between them. There is top-down approach, there is bottom-up approach, and for relationships, there is functional and divisional relationship, horizontal relationship, and matrix relationships. Let's quickly go through them. For strategic levels in the organization, there is head office, that is the corporate level. Then there is business level where divisional managers will be there, and there is functional level where functional managers like HR, operations, finance, marketing, administrative, all of these people will come under the functional level. The corporate level people are all the white collared top level people, CEO, senior executives, board of directors, all of those people will be sitting at the top, that is the corporate level. Business level is the strategic business unit, that is the divisional level, and under each of the businesses there will be functions also. That is division A is going to have marketing, administration, sales function, finance function, all of those things. Division B, again they are going to have so many functions. Division C, again they are going to have so many functions, guys. Now let's read the text for corporate level managers. Corporate level management consists of CEO, senior executive, board of directors, corporate staff. They are involved in the decision making. Basically they will be defining the vision, mission, goals, objectives, and what business that they should be, how the resources should be allocated to each of the businesses. Every decision making process will be done by the top management, that is the corporate level managers only. The third one is the functional level management. Functional level management, I told you, is the bottommost person, that is they will be involved in HR, finance, operations, administration, all of those things they will take care. They are responsible for specific business functions or operations like HR, purchasing, product development, customer service, and so on, that constitute a company or one of its divisions. Now they are asking a question, which is better, top-down approach or bottom-up approach? First, for this you have to first understand what is top-down approach and what is bottom-up approach. Top-down approach means the top level management is going to make all the decisions and they are going to instruct to the bottom. So from the top it flows to the bottom, that is top-down approach. What is bottom-up approach? From the bottom there is going to be a collaboration and then all the teams across all the levels will be involved in the decision-making process, that is bottom-up approach. What is the network of relationship between these three levels? There is a relationship between functional and divisional. Yes, I told you, for every functional level there will be so for every divisional level there will be lot of functions under them. It is an independent relationship because the division is run independently. Division means, I told you, is the strategic business units. Each SBU will have a separate cost center, profit center, so they are run independently, which is headed by function or division head, who is a business level manager, and they will be reporting to the business head, who is at the corporate level. Functions na enna you already know, that is finance function, human resource, marketing, operations, and all of those things. Next is horizontal relationship. Horizontal means it is like this, it is a flat structure. Flat structure means everybody here has equal voice, they are in the same hierarchical position. Matrix relationship means it is a grid-like structure for all the levels in the organization with teams formed for various departments, that is built for task-based projects. That is the key word here, task-based projects. Now in matrix relationship there are more than one business level managers for each functional level teams. It is complex for small organization, but nowadays all the big organization like HUL, Tata, Reliance, all these big organization, they only go for matrix relationships. Extremely useful for large organization, guys. Now the next one is essentials of strategic vision, given in red, so it is very, very important. What is essential for strategic vision? The first one is, any entrepreneur, can they have a strategic vision? No. You need to think creatively, because this strategic vision is going to prepare the company for the future. If there is environmental changes, this vision is going to tell the game plan for that. So it is about thinking creatively how to prepare the company for the future. Not everybody will have this in them. It needs intelligent entrepreneurship. A well articulated strategic vision creates enthusiasm among the members. Now, if he only knows where he wants to go, if team members do not know, it is no use. So he has to communicate to the team members, and team members, while listening to that vision itself, enthusiasm should come between them. That is, it has to create enthusiasm among the members of the organization. The best worded vision statement clearly illuminates the direction in which the organization is heading, because in most of the times the founder will have a vision, but the people who are employed, if they don't know what the vision is, they don't know what they're working for itself. So how will that enthusiasm come? Every day in the morning, 9 o'clock they'll come, 5 o'clock they'll take their bags and leave. They don't know the bigger cause for the organization. So for the strategic vision, what is essential now? First thing, to make the strategic vision, you need to think creatively. Second is an exercise in intelligent in entrepreneurship. Third is it creates enthusiasm among the team members. And fourth is, this is the direction in which the organization itself is heading. 4 points, very, 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 very important, guys. Please pause and read these 4 points now itself. The next one is limitations of strategic management. Limitations of strategic management, very, very easy. It is ETC. What is ETC? E stands for, it is environmental, not friendly, time consuming and costly. C is also having competitiveness. Now the first point is, environment is highly complex and turbulent. Environment is something which keeps changing, guys. For example, they're talking about two-wheeler EVs, where when EVs came, all the other two-wheelers, they have to change their strategy. But the customers are reluctant to buy the EVs. Why? Because somewhere they would have heard that this EV bursted. So if you hear that news, will anyone go and buy that EV? There is safety concerns. So strategy cannot overcome a turbulent environment. Strategic management is a time-consuming process. It keeps developing time to time. It is not like one day I will just sit and make a strategy for the company. So it is a time-consuming process. SM is a costly process, guys. If you go for strategic management and if you go and recruit a big four, they are going to charge you just 1 crore rupees to just make a strategy, not implement a strategy, just making a strategy. They're going to charge 1 crore rupees. So definitely it is a costly process, because expert strategic planners need to be engaged. Efforts are made for analyzing the external environment and the internal environment, and they can be really costly for the organization. And the last one is in a competitive scenario where everybody wants to have a strategic plan only. So it is very difficult to determine what the competition has a plan so that I can see his weakness and do against him and all. It is very difficult in this period, guys. For example, here they're talking about Apple. Before, they used to have the 3.5mm jack for audio, where everyone were putting headsets. Nowadays, who is using that? Everyone is using AirPods. So what happened to all the speaker brands? They have to change their strategy to wireless speakers to compete with whatever is happening in the market. So in a competitive environment, it is hard to gauge what our competitors are thinking. So limitations of strategic management, to remember, I have etc., which is talking about environment, time consuming, costly and competitive scenario. With this, chapter number 1 is over. Chapter number 2, guys. In this chapter, there are about 11 questions which I have shared as part of the expected question list. It looks like one of the biggest chapters, but not really, guys. If you see the contents, this is one of the easiest chapters in which you can remember all the points. Quickly jumping off into the expected question list of chapter number 2. The first one is issues to consider for strategic analysis with respect to the external environment. And they will definitely mention in the question. Don't worry. Now you have to explain the issue. Here, if they ask you to explain the issue, you know those 3 points. One is talking about the period of time it will take for making the strategy. Second is you need to balance between the external environment and the internal environment. And third is the risk factor. But if you just write the subheadings, like always, you're not even going to get even half the mark, because under each of the points there's going to be 3 or 4 points. So strategy evolves over a period of time. That means strategy cannot be made in a day, guys. There are different factors which is going to affect how the strategy is made, and there are so many small choices that you have to take over a period of time to make that master plan of yours. So strategy is influenced by experience, and it has to be updated as time keeps going on. These 4 points, if it is there, then only you're going to get the full marks. Balance of external and internal factors. There are so many factors which are happening internally in the organization, and external environment also keeps changing. The organization has to align with the external environment. Here they are talking about reasonable balance between the conflicting challenges, because a perfect fit between them is unlikely. A perfect fit is not possible, so at least it has to be a reasonable balance. Next, they are saying there are so many things that you have to consider when you're entering into a new market. That means there can be a huge competitor in the new market. You need to balance out the external factor with your internal strengths and weaknesses. The last one is talking about these limiting constraints will have various implications on the kind, degree and volume and significance of the impact. It is, there will be other way beyond the existing capabilities. These 3 points you have to definitely write, guys. Under risk, again 3 points. Again they're talking about the balance. It has to be very important, especially because of globalization, liberalization. There are so many recessions, booms, up and down, market keeps going, and so many people are coming from different countries. This itself is a risk. So how to broadly classify this strategic risk? Now comes the matrix, which is also the second question, matrix of strategic risk, where they're classifying based on time and strategic risk. X-axis is talking about time, Y-axis is talking about strategic risk, and under the risk there is internal factors and external factors. What is this external strategic risk? I have written here. If the strategy is inconsistent with the environment, we call that it is an external strategic risk. Internal strategic risk means the interaction with the organization on a routine basis. That means something in the organization itself on a routine basis, if it is happening, then that is an internal strategic risk. Now time, again they have classified it into short time and long time. In the short time, if there is an external strategic risk, that means it is not aligning with the environment, so you have not interpreted the environment properly. If it is a long time and external strategic risk, that means changes in environment is too much that your strategy has become useless, obsolescence of the strategy. Now comes the second part, internal strategic risk. That means you are interacting with somebody on a routine basis and there is a risk in that also. In the short time, if there is a risk, then organizational capacity there is some problem. In the long time, internally if there is a risk, then inconsistencies with the strategy are developed with respect to the internal capacities. Now these 4 points you have to remember, guys. If you remember the x-axis and y-axis, then definitely these 4 automatically you will be able to write. The next question here is talking about strategy identification and selection, 4 points. They might not ask in descriptive, but MCQ it is definitely possible, because in this dabba down point, strategy identification and selection, just 4 points, nothing inside content and all. Identify strategic alternatives, select the strategy, implement the strategy and review the strategy. Simple 4 points is given here. Just remember, only side headings, no inside content. The next is talking about internationalization of business. Under that, characteristics of global business, important. Red color means very important for Jan 25 attempt. This has 3 points. The first one is talking about conglomerate of multiple units. Second is talking about they'll have a common resource, and third is talking about common strategy. For this example is McDonald's, guys. McDonald's has fries. When they are coming to India, they will first see all of these things and then only they will come to India. What are the 3 things? Whether it is a conglomerate of multiple units. Is it a conglomerate of multiple units? Yes, McD is located in different parts of the world. You go to Vietnam, there is a McD. You go to US, there is a McD. You go to UK, there is a McD. Located in different parts of the globe. That is the first point. Second one is, are they using common pool of resources? Yes, definitely. The fries which is coming to India also is shipped, it's aired from US. It is a common pool of resources only. But here they are not only talking about fries, they are also talking about money, credit information, patents, trade names, control systems. Everything is a common pool of resources. That is the second characteristics. The third one is the units respond to the same common strategy, because McD means it is fast food. Fast food means it has to be cheap. Cheaper when compared to all your cafes. Is it there? Yes, that is their strategy. So it is responding to the common strategy. This is the characteristics of global business. The next one is value chain analysis. Under that, there is primary activities and support activities, but in the expected question, there is only support activities. Under support activities, there are 4 points: procurement, tech, HR, and infrastructure. Let's quickly go through that, guys. Now, procurement means it is a purchase activity. What is the process of acquiring the various inputs? That is the purchasing activity, that is procuring. Second one is the technology development. All value activities have the technology, even if it is a simple know-how. Human resource management, HR, means they are going to recruit, they are going to train, they are going to develop that people, and they are going to pay that people. Reward those people. That is the keywords here. Infrastructure means everything else. Your finance, quality control, information systems, planning, everything comes under infrastructure. So these 4 points are under the support activities, which is coming under the value chain analysis. The next one is talking about, what is the question here? Experience curve. Now, what is experience curve? You keep doing something, then you become a master of it. You keep studying the same thing again and again, then you become a master of that. So what is the meaning of this experience curve? The experience curve is a learning curve which explains the efficiency increase because of repetitive productive work. You keep doing the same work again and again, automatically you become so efficient in that work. It is also called as learning curve. Please remember that. Now this curve is looking like this because of what? Because the cost per unit keeps on reducing with increase in cumulative production in units. Units keep increasing, cost keeps reducing, so the curve is like this. Please remember how the curve looks, and now let's see what are the following features for the experience curve. Now, as business organizations keep growing, then automatically they're going to get the experience. Now, what are they going to do with the experience? Now, if they have more experience than the competitor, they'll be more successful. These 3 are the points which you have to do. Now, this is called as experience effect. Now, all of these 3 points, if they get, automatically you will say that they are having the experience effect. The next question is talking about the value creation. What is the meaning of value creation? You are basically giving something to the customer where customer is feeling that they are getting so much of value. That means so much of worth that they are getting. Now see here, guys, you are starting from zero. For a company's point of view, they are going to add the cost. For example, the cost is 1000 rupees. Now they are going to have a margin. Margin is 200 rupees. They are priced for that product at 1200 rupees. Now, when you are giving this 1200 rupee product to the customer should feel like it is actually worth the 2000 rupees. That is called as customer surplus. Now here, what is the difference? 800 rupees is called as consumer surplus or customer surplus. Very, very important concept. I would have marked here also. Now, when will the customer feel like this? Have you ever felt like this ever in your life? Yes, I have felt like this when my grandfather was admitted in the hospital. They asked for 2 lakhs rupees, and I felt like even if they have asked for 20 lakhs rupees, I would have happily given them. Price which was charged to me was only 2 lakhs, but the value I got was crores and crores of money. Very rarely we will feel like that, guys. But now you have understood the concept of customer surplus or consumer surplus. I hope you have understood the concept. Now please read here. This concept gives business a competitive advantage in the industry. Yes, if you're going to give more value to your customers, yes, definitely you're in a competitive position in the industry. Here, there are 3 factors which you have to see. What are the 3 factors here? Cost, price, value. These 3 are the factors. Now just read the text down. The value customers place on the company's products, the price that the company charges for its products, the cost of creating those products. These same three points are the 3 factors which basically tells whether competitive advantage leads to superior profitability. The profitability of the company depends on these 3 factors, that is the value, price and cost. Now based on this, you will be able to tell whether a company will be profitable or not. The next one is talking about Porter's 5 force model. Under that, 5 are there: threat of new entrants, bargaining power of buyers, bargaining power of suppliers, nature of rivalry, and threat of substitutes. But here I have given only 4, and out of that 4 I have told 2 is very important. If you ask me, they are going to ask nature of rivalry. I am feeling, guys, I am feeling they will ask nature of rivalry, but still we will be going through all the 4 which is given here. One is already tested, so not very important. Now coming to Porter's 5 force. Now, under Porter's 5 force model, I am directly starting off with the second point, which is the bargaining power of the buyer. Nowadays, buyers have so much of information. If you're going to order food from Swiggy also, you're going to compare it with Zomato and see whichever is cheaper, or where they're offering coupon code, you're going to order that only. That is the bargaining power of the buyer. Now, nowadays, buyers have full knowledge and they spend a lot of money. That means they are going to be the big buyers. And industry's product is not perceived as critical to the buyer's needs, because if it is critical, you are not going to bargain. Like how I told you, if my grandfather is admitted in the hospital, it is critical for me. So I am not going to bargain at that point. If he is going to ask 2 lakhs, I'm going to happily give that 2 lakhs to him. So if it is not perceived as critical to the buyer's needs, then only bargaining power of buyer will come. Bargaining power of supplier, that means the person who's supplying, he has more power here when the product is crucial. Now I told you, when my grandfather was admitted in the hospital, the product is crucial for me. So they have more power. The products are crucial. They can erect high switching costs. Now if I'm going to tell them, you have very costly products, I'm going to switch to another hospital. Now they're going to say, if you switch, then possibility of living is only 10%. Now the high switching cost is there, so I will not switch. If it is like that, then the supplier is an upper hand and they are more concentrated than the buyers. That means so many suppliers are there and buyers are very less. That means suppliers are very less and buyers are more. That means they have so much power in their hands, the bargaining power of suppliers. I told you nature of rivalry is very important, because under that again 5 points has been given. So 6 points has been given. So let's go through what is given under nature of rivalry in the industry here. Very important for Jan 25 exams. Nature of rivalry means basically they're talking about the competition. There will be one industry leader. In every industry, there will be one huge person who is discouraging all the price wars, and they will be disciplining all the initiators of such activities. Now, because they have already experience curve, they have that experience effector, they will only lead the industry itself. Second one is the number of competitors. What is under number of competitors is only pricing discipline diminishes with the increased number of rivals in the industry. Fixed cost, if it is too high, then competition, if it is too high, fixed cost is too high, how will I make the profits? That is the third point. And fourth is exit barriers. Rivalry among the competitors will decline if some competitors leave an industry. If some competitors are leaving the industry, then competition itself is reducing. That is only talking about the exit barriers. Exit barriers can come in many forms. If you have already invested in so many assets of the company, then exit barriers is very low for you. People will not leave the industry because they have already invested. So they'll keep making different strategies to somewhere make the profit. Product differentiation. Sometimes by making product differentiation, they can insulate themselves by all the price wars. When someone is using the lower cost strategy, that is cost leadership strategy, I will not get affected because I am giving something unique. My product is unique, so I am insulating myself from the price wars because I have a different product. The next one is slow growth. Industries whose growth is slowing down tends to face more intense rivalry. That means slow growth means it's already at the maturity stage, because at the growth stage it increases at increasing rate, and then only at maturity it stops increasing at an increasing rate. So slow growth means they tend to face full competition, intense rivalry. This is the sixth point. Very important, guys. These 6 points, please read the keywords which is given inside also. Next is threat of substitute. Substitute means Coke and Pepsi. Coke is there, easily I can substitute it with Pepsi. So that is a threat of substitute. Substitute products are a latent source of competition in an industry. Substitute products offering a price advantage. Now Coke and Pepsi, can you tell the difference? No. If Coke is 20 and Pepsi is 30 rupees, what are you going to buy? You are definitely going to buy the Coke only because it has a price advantage. Or performance improvement to the consumer can drastically alter the competitive character of an industry. Example, Coir suffered at the hands of synthetic fiber. Wherever substantial investment in R&D is taken, taking place. Threats from substitute products can be expected because they are focusing more on research and development. That means they are going to come as a big giant. So threats from substitute products can be expected at that point. This is under Porter's 5 force model. Under that 4 points we have covered, guys. The next is talking about market and customer. Under that, customer behavior. Now as a customer, you yourself would have behaved like this. Now imagine your favorite stars movie, Vijay, Rajini, Ajit, let it be anybody, favorite stars movie. How will you go to his movie, especially if it is 1 week before the exam? How will your behavior be? First, you will see all the external influences which is there for you. External influence means you are going to see who and all reviewed this, what other people told, all of those things you are going to see. Second, you are going to see internal influences. Internal influences means your psychological factor. If I go for that Rajini movie, I will be pumped up to study more. He will say some 2-3 motivational dialogues. I will read that. I will read more intensely if I go for that movie. Like that you might feel. That is the internal influences. Now based on this, you are going to make a decision making process. After the movie, again there will be a post decision making process, because you will think movie was so good, let me rewatch it. Second time, third time, you will go for few movies, correct? Like that you will see. And then you will recommend for friends. You will either tell them you definitely go and see the movie, or you will tell them please don't go watch the movie. Somehow you will be recommending to the friends. So that is the customer behavior nu sonna. The example is Rajini or Vijay movie or Ajit movie, your favorite hero, you please remember. First one is talking about external influences, social norms, recommendations, advertisement, direct impact on the psychological and internal process. Internal influences, you yourself are having some psychological factors. Decision making, the stages of decision making process can be described as, this is also important, they can ask just this point and you will have to write the 4 points which is coming under that. What is the decision making that you have to do? First one is you are recognizing a problem. First, I am not able to study and I am feeling bored. That is the problem. Second is, what is a desirable alternative? Now itself I can study, but it is not effective. So I will go for a movie and come back. That is the alternative that I am doing. Seeking information of available alternative and weighing their pros and cons. Now I am going to think, if I go for a movie, I have to spend the money. Then simply I can't go for a movie, I have to buy the popcorn. So much of money is going off wasted. Like that you will do the pros and cons, and then finally you will make a final choice and say no, movie, studying is the best alternative. Like that you will make the final choice. So under decision making, 4 points, please don't forget. And then comes post decision making process. After seeing the movie, what are you going to do? Whether you have to do repeat purchase or whether you can recommend to others, and all of those things you have to see. How many points are here? 4 points are there, guys. This is under what? This is under this question. Don't forget the question of what you are studying. You are studying the customer behavior. The next comes competitive landscape. How are you going to see the competitive landscape? First, you have to identify the competitor. Second, you have to understand the competitor. How you are going to understand the competitor? You are going to see what is his strength, what is his weakness, and then you are going to put all the information together. These 5 points are under competitive landscape. Now let's quickly glance through those 5 points. The first one is identifying the competitors. Who are the competitors and how big are they? Second is understand the competitors. How are you going to understand the competitors? By way of some report. Nowadays internet has everything. Newspapers not so relevant right now. Social media extremely relevant right now. Industry reports, various other sources. You are going to understand the competitors. Now this is going to answer the question, what are their products and services? The third is determine the strengths of the competitors. What are their financial position? What gives them cost advantage? What gives them price advantage? Next, what is their plan? How strong is their distribution network? And do they have any human resource strength? Like that you are going to determine the strengths of the competitor. Strength irunda, definitely weakness also will be there. So where are they lacking? That also you are going to see, and finally you will be putting all the information together. That means what will the business do with this information? What improvement should I make looking at the strength and weakness of my competitor? I will take his strength and I will ignore his weakness. I will make a mega product and I will launch it. Like that you have to see how can the firm exploit the weakness of the competitors. So all of these are under, don't forget the question again, It is under steps to understand the competitive landscape. Now, identify the competitor, understand the competitor, identify strength, identify weakness, and put all the information together. The last question is regarding key success factors, where you have to ask three questions here. The first one is talking about the product attributes. What is the product attribute which is crucial to sales? Why are the customers choosing your product? How is your product different? That is the first question. Second is, what is the capability, resource and competitive capabilities? What does he have? And the third question is, what is he doing for sustaining at the long run? These three questions, if you can ask, that is the key factors for competitive success, that is prerequisites for industry success. Read the text of these 3 points. On what basis do customers choose? What are the product attributes? Second is, what is the resource and competitive capabilities? And the third is, how are they going to sustain in the long term? Now with this, the chapter number 2 is over, guys. Chapter number 3, strategic analysis for internal environment. This is a small chapter, very interesting chapter, my favorite chapter. So let's quickly see the expected questions which is given under chapter number 3. It's starting off with Mendelov matrix, customer versus consumer, marketing strategies, core competencies areas, and these 3 are given in red. That means very, very important for Jan 2025 attempt. So here under Mendelov's matrix, also called as power interest matrix. What is there? Power interest means on the y-axis there's going to be power, and on the x-axis there's going to be interest in the organization. Here, if somebody has high power and low interest, that means they have power in the organization. Example, bankers, government, customers, they have high power, but are they really interested in the profit and all? No, they have low interest, but they have high power. Please keep them satisfied. Consult them often, otherwise they can be a hindrance to your new ideas or even hindrance to your strategic choices that you are making. This is keep them satisfied. If somebody has low power and low interest, for example, media people, they are not interested in your organization, they do not have power also, that is low power. Just monitor whatever they are saying, but no need general communication and all of those things. Occasionally you can communicate with them, but no need engagement. No, you can just monitor them. This is low priority. Somebody who is a key player, that means high power and high interest, they are the key players. Shareholders, board of directors, CEO, CFO, so all of these people are very, very important because they are involved in the decision making. So you have to manage them closely and you have to engage regularly with them. Keep informed is what? They have high interest but low power in the organization. For example, employees, vendors and all of those things, you can just inform them as to whatever is happening because they have only less power but they are interested in the organization. If they are interested, just tell them what is happening. Keep them informed. This is the power interest matrix or the Mendelov's matrix, guys. The next one is the customer versus consumer. Always customer is different, consumer is different. No, sometimes customer consumer can be the same, but in many cases the customer can be different and the consumer can be different. For example, diapers. I am the purchaser of the diaper, but am I wearing the diaper? No, my baby is wearing the diaper. My baby is the consumer of the product, whereas I am the customer of the product. Both of us have to be satisfied. Especially if you are marketing a product, you need to know who is the customer and who is the consumer for you to market it correctly. For example, engagement ring. I am wearing the engagement ring. I am the consumer of the product, but who has purchased it is different. That is customer of the product. Insurance, we normally buy family insurance. I am the customer, but family is getting benefited. They are the consumer. So customer versus consumer. Please read this text which is given here. Very, very important for this exam. Next, what they are asking is marketing strategies. This is one of the most interesting part. I'm not sure whether it is important. Interesting part. There are 13 types of marketing. Social marketing means when they are marketing a product, usually they will say, example, Lifebuoy will say, please clean your hands every day, sanitize your hands every day, and then they will say Lifebuoy. Here can you see social marketing. This is not an ad, but this is a public service message. Like that they have told wash hands and all, but here Lifebuoy, they have actually marketed their product only. This is social marketing. The second marketing is augmented marketing. Augmented marketing means additional customer services and benefits that they are giving to the existing customers. For example, you are having a Apple product, so they are giving something called as Apple Care to the Apple product. Apple Care is actually a service business. Apple Care means they are giving like an insurance for the product. So they are basically making an ecosystem for Apple. Once you have Apple, you can't use any other headphones. You have to compulsorily buy the AirPods only. And slowly, you will start buying the iPad, you will start buying the pen. Like that, you have to buy other things also. So they're building an ecosystem. This is augmented marketing where they are giving additional customer services, additional benefits that this product can offer, and also other products they keep introducing. So this is innovative offerings. This is augmented marketing. Direct marketing, sometimes when you go to Amazon, they will say once you buy a shirt, pant also in that model, please buy this also, or 59 people are viewing this other product, so please buy this, or you viewed this product but you've not added to cart. Like that, directly they are flashing it to you. That is direct marketing. Relationship marketing, they are building a community, they are building a relationship. Example, Nike, they have running club and they have training club. People who run, they want to track their steps, they want to track the kilometers, so they'll be using the NRC app, Nike Running Club app. If you are already using the Nike Running Club app, you're in love with that app, now you want to go and buy a shoe. What will you prefer? You'll prefer Adidas or Nike? You'll definitely prefer Nike only. So this is relationship marketing. Services marketing, this is the most innovative marketings you can see here in services marketing. For example, Airbnb has one of the most innovative products, because normally if they're showing a product, it is easy. What is a service? How can they show? They will show happiness by way of service. Person marketing, nowadays people also, they are marketing themselves. If I show Vasant & Co.'s founder, you will definitely know this is the advertisement of Vasant & Co. Similarly for KFC also, the Tata comes. So that is person marketing. Organization marketing, we all know how much backlash this company faced, Maggi faced, when they said there is lead in Maggi and all of those things. When there is lead in Maggi, so much of backlash was there. They banned Maggi and everything. But did they come back? Did they bounce back? Yes, they did an organization marketing and Maggi bounced back. And even now, if it rains, automatically we are craving and we are making that 2 minutes Maggi. Place marketing, people market place beautifully, except for India. If you see Europe, they have different countries for different things. Place of love, everybody will tell Paris only. They have marketed that beautifully. That is place marketing. Enlightened marketing, instead of marketing a product, I am marketing a philosophy, I am marketing an emotion. This is good for the long run performance of the company. Example, Dove. When you see Dove ads, they have different shapes of women, they have different colors of women, they are showing body positivity, they are showing inclusivity. This is enlightened marketing, not only selling the product but also selling their philosophy, but also selling their emotion. So all of these things are enlightened marketing. Next one is differential marketing. One company is there, that company only will have so many products and each of the products will be marketed differently. For example, Hindustan Unilever is the owner of Lifebuoy, Lux, Rexona. They are also the owner of Dove and Pierce. Now Dove is placed at a premium segment. Lifebuoy, Lux and Rexona is placed at a very affordable segment, but still owner is the same only. Different types of marketing will be done for Dove and different type of marketing will be done for Lux. This is differential marketing. Synchro marketing, sometimes in particular season there will be lot of demand, in other season they will do that marketing to increase the demand. For example, if you go to theaters on weekdays, usually people don't come to theaters. That time they are selling bottomless popcorn. Bottomless popcorn means unlimited popcorn. You can refill how many ever times you want, but this is available only on weekdays. Why? Weekends anyway they are going to buy the popcorn because they are going to come and see the movie. So weekdays they are going to do the synchro marketing because irregular due to some parts of the day or some season, so it can cause idle capacity. Next is concentrated marketing. Concentrated marketing means I'm focusing only on a niche. Rolex is a brand of watch which focuses only on the niche market. No, not everybody can afford that Rolex. So if you see, Rolex will not be there in IPL matches and all. Rolex advertisement you can find in golf. Rolex advertisement you can see in tennis, but in IPL matches you will not be able to see the Rolex advertising. Demarketing means opposite of marketing. Marketing means reducing the prices, giving high value. All of these things are marketing. Demarketing means what they are going to do is they are going to increase the price. In Uber and Ola, during high peak times, they will say Price is 2x, price is 5x. What are they doing? They are doing de-marketing strategy. Temporarily they are going to reduce the demand. That is de-marketing, guys. Here I've given example for social marketing. We saw Lifebuoy. Augmented marketing, we saw iPhone. Direct marketing, when you're buying, they're saying customers also bought pant shoes. So what he's actually buying, he's buying a jacket, but they're also selling directly other things. Service marketing, I told you, beautiful ads for Airbnb they will be making. Relationship marketing, they're building a community. For Nike shoes only they are actually selling, but Nike also has Nike training club, Nike also has Nike running club. All of these things are there. Next is people marketing, Vasanth & Co and KFC, you already know. Organization marketing, Maggie is the perfect example. What do they say? Your Maggie is safe and always has been. Lead is there everywhere. Lead is there in the earth. Lead is there in the air you breathe. Lead is there everywhere. Lead is there in the Maggie also, so it is not harmful for you. Like that they marketed their Maggie. Place marketing, I already spoke about Europe. Enlightened marketing, Dove. How they're showing different people, different colors, different sizes. They are basically selling their emotion to you. Differential marketing, Hindustan Unilever, Fair and Lovely. Here they will say become fair. Here they will say fair is not there, only glow should be there. Like that they've changed the name of Fair and Lovely to Glow and Lovely. Next is synchro marketing. I told you about bottomless only during weekdays. Concentrated marketing. You can see Rolex in F1 races, Rolex in tennis matches. But have you seen Rolex in IPL? No. They know their market, so they will advertise there only. D-marketing is 7x rate for Uber once they give. So during high demand, they want to temporarily reduce the demand. This is marketing strategy. Next comes core competencies areas. There are 3 areas. One is competitive differentiation. Second is value to the customer. And third is application to the other markets. Now let's quickly see these 3 points here. Competitor differentiation, customer value and application to other markets. The question is core competency areas. Don't forget, if you just write these 3 points, you're not going to get the marks. Here you have to explain what is these 3. Competitor differentiation is that one of the 3 conditions. What is this? It is difficult for competitors to imitate. You have to be different from the competitors. The second one, value to the customers. How you are giving the value to the end customer. The third is application to the other markets. How you are going to apply this to the whole organization and how this skill is going to go to the other markets and all of those things you have to say here. These 3 paragraphs please read, guys. The next one is sustainability of competitive. These 3, remember, these 3 are red. Sustainability of competitive advantage depends on 4 characteristics of resources and capabilities. What are those 4 characteristics? Durability, transferability, imitability and appropriability are the 4 characteristics. Now these 4 characteristics, simply if you just write the side headings, you will not get even half the marks. Now durability, what you have to write? What are the 4 characteristics? Durability, period over which competitive advantage is sustained. This definitely you have to write to get the full marks. A firm's resources and capabilities, usually it deteriorates. So how are you going to be durable? In industries where rate of production innovation is fast, product patents are quite likely to become obsolete. Similarly, capabilities which are the result of management expertise are also vulnerable on her retirement. On the other hand, many consumer brands names have high durable appeal. They're talking about durability inside this paragraph. That is important. What is transferability? Even if the resource and capabilities on which the competitive advantage base is durable, it will be eroded by competition. So how are you going to transfer this? Imitability. It cannot be purchased by the imitator. Then it must be built from scratch only. Appropriability refers to ability of the firm's owners to appropriate the returns to its resource base. Like this, keywords are very, very important in SM subject. Don't just read the side headings. Please read at least 4 or 5 keywords inside also. Durability, transferability, imitability and appropriability. This is question is sustainability of competitive advantage depends on 4 characteristics of resources and capabilities. The next is cost leadership strategy and differentiation strategy. What are the advantages and disadvantages? Usually cost leadership strategy means what? I am becoming a leader by reducing my cost. Differentiation strategy means I am becoming a leader by being different from my competitors. This is the meaning. Now what is this cost leadership strategy? What are the advantages and disadvantages? Now, whenever they ask advantages for both, the side headings are the same. These five are there: rivalry, buyers, suppliers, entrants, and substitutes. Now, under that only you have to write differently. Here, how are you taking over the rivalry? By giving a low cost. How are you getting the buyers, powerful buyers or customers? How are they getting the suppliers? Cost leaders are able to observe greater price increase from the suppliers also. Entrants and substitutes. Next, disadvantage of cost leadership. Cost advantage may not last long as competitors may imitate the cost reduction. Cost leadership can succeed only if the firm can achieve higher sales volume. Why are you reducing the cost? Thinking that volume will increase. So if you do not increase in volume, then cost leadership itself is waste. That is a disadvantage. Cost leadership tend to keep their cost low by minimizing other things, other expenses. Cost of advertising will be low, cost of market research will be low, research and development will be low, everything will be low only. So if everything is low in the long run, you might have to advertise, you might have to do research, so it is expensive in the long run, they are saying. So these three are disadvantages. And technologically advancement areas, a great threat to cost leaders, because if you are going to reduce the cost like anything, there will be some other company who is investing a lot in research and development, lot in tech, so obviously they will become a leader in the market, so it can become a threat for technological advancement areas. So these four are disadvantages and these five are the advantages. Differentiation strategy, I already told you the meaning. That means you have a unique product which is different from the competitors. What is the basis of differentiation? Differentiation basis can be of three types. It can be product differentiation, pricing differentiation, and organization differentiation. Product differentiation means you are offering a new product. It can be costly, because here we are not focusing on cost, we are focusing on the uniqueness of the product. By way of R&D, or by way of marketing, you are giving a new product. For example, Apple iPhone has invested huge amounts of money in R&D. Obviously not everybody is just simply paying 1 lakh, more than 1 lakh rupees for iPhone. Something there is different, the product is definitely different, that's why you are willing to pay so much of money. That is product differentiation. Pricing differentiation does not mean lowest price, it can also be higher price. For example, if same iPhone is given for 50,000 rupees, not many people might buy it, celebrities might not buy it, they are buying it only because it is priced more than 1 lakh. So through higher prices also you can differentiate your product. For example, Apple iPhone again dominates smartphone segment by charging higher prices for its product. Organization, power of a brand. Everybody, why are they buying that Apple? When they're taking that selfie in the back, that Apple logo has to be seen, yes or no? That is the power of the brand. Example here is so many Apple fanboys, Apple fangirls, so customer loyalty here is so good here. So here, how are they going to get that differentiation? Sonale, there are three ways, and all three, Apple is the only example: product differentiation, pricing differentiation, and organization differentiation. Guys, how are you going to achieve that differentiation strategy? Again, there are 6 points. You are going to offer utility, that is value to the customer, high quality. You are going to do some kind of an innovation, you are improving the performance of the product, and organization itself is improving the brand image, brand value, and the price which you are fixing is unique, either low price or high price. I am not saying it is unique. This 6 points also is important. Achieving the differentiation strategy, these three is also important. Basis of differentiation, very important, guys. It is given in red. Next is advantages and disadvantages of differentiation strategy. Advantages to Sonali, those 5 points I already told you: rivalry, buyers, suppliers, entrants, and substitutes. Please read the keywords which is given inside. Disadvantages on differentiation strategy. Okay, you are unique. How long is it going to take for the competitor to have the same unique product? Then it is no more unique. In the long term, uniqueness and all cannot sustain. You are saying it is okay, pricing differentiation, high price for the product. This is not sustainable in the long run, because soon they are going to switch to another alternative. First, when I got iPhone, it was 50,000, when all the other phones were 30-40,000. Next, it became 1 lakh, 1.5 lakhs now. Trust me, if it goes above 2 lakhs, I myself will not buy iPhone, never. So too high a price can switch me to another alternative. Differentiation, some people will say, why the heck should I pay 1.5 lakhs for this phone? So if you are not valuing right? Then you are not going to buy the phone. So differentiation fails when it is not valued to the customer. So disadvantages of differentiation strategy, there are three. Advantages, same five side headings for cost leadership also we saw. Then how are they going to achieve the differentiation strategy, the 6 points. Then three types they can have the differentiation: product differentiation, pricing differentiation, and organization differentiation. All three same example, iPhone only for differentiation strategy. Now with this, your chapter number 3 comes to an end, guys. We've covered all the questions here. Now going to chapter number 4, guys. In chapter number 4, in the expected question list, there are about 9 questions. Let's quickly jump into them. The first one is talking about intensification. What are the 3 points which is there in intensification? Now before I go to that, let's quickly see what is there in this chapter. This chapter is this of 3 parts. The first one is the broad strategies, strategic exits, and strategic options. Under broad strategies, there is stability strategy, growth or expansion strategy. Under strategic exits, there is turnaround strategy, divestment, and liquidation. And under options, there are a few matrices which is given. Under this growth or expansion strategy, there is internal and external. Under internal, there is intensification and diversification, and under external, there is mergers and acquisition and strategic alliance. EQ is all the expected questions which I have marked and kept. The first one is the intensification, which is a internal strategy. Under growth or expansion strategy, intensification, now it is market penetration, product development, and market development. If I simply tell like this, you are not going to understand. If I'm going to give you an example, you're going to clearly understand. What is this market penetration? That means there is an existing product, an existing market, and I'm just going to penetrate into the market. For example, Starbucks. If you enter Starbucks, they're going to give you something called as loyalty card. That means if you're going to give the loyalty card, the next time when you come to Starbucks, you're going to get 25% discount on your coffee. What are they going to do? They are basically making the customers come again and again to the shop. So they are going to give a loyalty card. That is market penetration. Here, same customer, same market. This is market penetration. What is product development? The first iPhone I got was 5S. After that 6 came, 7 came, 18 came, and now 16 has also come. Year on year, they are developing the existing product. So here, the product is getting changed year on year, but it is to the same market only. That is product development. Here, market development means the market changes. For example, KFC in US, when they came to KFC India, they can't sell the same popcorn chicken. They can't sell the same burger. What they have to do is, to that burger, they have to make it more saucy. We don't like dry burgers. We like burgers with mayo, burgers with sauces. So they made it saucy. They added more salt to the patty. They added more masala. They deep fried it so that Indian market will like that burger. What they did is the same product but different market. That is market development. Now, understanding what are the examples for each of these things will help you understand the text which is given better, guys. Now, let's quickly go through the text which is given here. Market penetration, highly common expansion strategy. Firm directs its resources for profitable growth, existing product, existing market. What is market development? It present product by adding different channels or changing the content of advertising or promotional media. What is product development? Modification to the existing product, iPhone example, or creation of new but related items. Or instead of giving iPhones, they'll give AirPods. They'll give something else, but related items that can be marketed to the current customers. Same market but different product. That is product development, guys. Now, what is the second question in the expected question list? It is under growth or expansion strategy, under external, under mergers and acquisition. There are 3 points where horizontal, vertical, co-generic and conglomerate. Let's quickly see that one also. For this also, let me first give you the example so that you will understand better. The first one is horizontal merger. You all know what is a merger, right? Merger means 2 companies come together. They're going to operate as one from now. Horizontal merger means both of them are operating in the same industry. When both of them are operating in the same industry, what happens? happens? Two competitors are coming together and they are going to have one product. For example, Lipton India and Brook Bond, they came together and formed a company called Brook Bond Lipton India Private Limited. So two different companies selling the same tea, they are coming together and they are selling the product. This is called as horizontal merger. Vertical merger means what? They are operating in the same industry, but in the product life cycle they can be in different stages. For example, if there is a coffee shop, they are getting merged with a coffee bean. So what is happening? Coffee bean manufacturer, he is in the farming land, coffee shop is in the customer. So both of them are getting merged. That is vertical merger. This vertical merger can be backward integration or forward integration. Now backward integration means in the value chain I am moving backward. That means I have a coffee shop, I am moving backward. Forward integration means I am doing tire manufacturing, now I am doing car manufacturing. This is forward integration. If you go closer to the customer, that means it is forward integration, guys. If you come farther from the customer, that means it is backward integration. That's all, as simple as that. What is co-generic merger? Co-generic merger means they are associated in some way. For example, you all know what is the meaning of white goods category. What is the meaning of white goods? In olden days, if you see AC, fridge, all of those things was always white in color. So they are called as white goods. Now, if that white good category, if they are coming to the kitchen appliances, then that is called as co-generic merger. So here two or more mergers are associated in some way or the other related to the production process, business market or basic required technologies. So co-generic example you saw, that is white good plus kitchen appliances. Then you read the text are associated in some way or other related to production process, business market or basic required technologies. The next is conglomerate merger. Conglomerate means they're completely unrelated with each other. For example, TCS, if you see what and all businesses they are in, they are having Starbucks, they are having Tata, if you see, they have Tata Consultancy Services, they are in restaurant business, Starbucks, they have Westside, Zurio, they are in textile industry also. They have so many things under the head Tata. So that is conglomerate merger. Conglomerate means completely unrelated to the existing business. They are doing another merger, that is conglomerate. Now what is the next expected question? So here we saw what is horizontal, vertical, co-generic, conglomerate. This is coming under mergers and acquisition. The next one is what is strategic alliance, advantages and disadvantages. Again, if I tell you the example of what is strategic alliance, easily you're going to understand, guys. Strategic alliance means two companies, they are accepting each other as they are. There is no merger happening. I will just use you, you can just use me. That means beautifully they are accepting each other. They are working in together, but there is no merger in papers. For example, if you see Samsung phone, search engine in Samsung phone will always be Google Chrome. Google Chrome, if they want to build their own phones, they have Google Pixel. But how many people are going to buy Google Pixel and how many people are going to buy Samsung and other Android phones? So what they've done, they've made a strategic alliance with all the Android phones saying the search engine will be Google Chrome only. Like this, they have come to a strategic alliance. There is no merger and all happening between Samsung and Google. But still there is an alliance which is happening. This is strategic alliance. There are a few advantages. There are also a few disadvantages. What is the advantages? There are organizational advantage, economic advantage, strategic advantage and political advantage. Political advantage means you are able to enter new market, foreign business to gain entry. What is strategic advantage? Rivals can join together and instead of competing, they can cooperate with each other. What is economic advantage? Now, if Google itself has to have phones and that phone has to be number one in the Android segment, it is very difficult. They have to spend lots on ads, they have to spend lots on technology. So this is reducing the cost, it is reducing the risk. That is economic advantage. What is organizational advantage? Now, because of this strategic alliance, they are able to learn a lot of things from each other, learning necessary skills and obtaining the capabilities. But if advantages are there, disadvantages will always be there. What is the disadvantage of strategic alliance? There is only one disadvantage, which is sharing. You have to share your knowledge, share your skills. All of these things, when you are sharing, there is a possibility of the other person misusing it. So that is the disadvantage. Sharing of resources and profits, and also sharing the knowledge, skills and all of those things. What is strategic exits? Now, under strategic exits, what is there in the expected questions? Let's see. Conditions or indicators for turnaround. Now, under turnaround strategy, there are four things which is given: conditions, action plan, elements, and reasons. There are four questions they can ask under turnaround strategy itself. Conditions or indicators, it is there in the expected questions. What is the indicator that a company has to turn around? Turn around means internally they have to make a change. They are in some bad position, so internally they have to change. What is it? If there are a lot of negative cash flows, or they are pricing their product so high, or their product quality is not there, competitor is giving such high quality, or their market share is keep on decreasing, so much of overstaffing, unnecessary salary, unnecessary operating expenses, and complete mismanagement. All of these things show that there has to be some kind of a turnaround which you have to do. Please look back and see, is something going wrong in your organization? Please see if you have to sell a portion and all of those things. So right now they are only talking about turnaround. That means internally what you have to do. So what are the conditions or indicators? Now these 6 points you have to write. Next, action plan. Already it is tested in the previous one, so it is not there in our expected question. Important elements of turnaround strategy, this is there in our expected questions, guys. Elements in our turnaround strategy. What is there in elements? Changes in the top management. Quickly the top management is changing, or initial credibility building action, neutralizing the external pressures, pressure from external political pressure, too much it is there. Quick payoff activities. So already we saw negative cash flows. If it is there, it shows that you have to turn around. Now you are quickly trying to pay off all of those things. Now unnecessary overstaffing and all you did, now you please reduce the cost for that and try to increase your revenue by some way. If you do not have cash at all, please sell your asset liquidation for generating the cash. That also you can do. Next, better internal coordination. That also is must. If internal coordination is not there, then company itself will definitely fail. So all of these things are elements of turnaround strategy. Changes in the top management, credibility building action, neutralizing external pressure, quickly pay off cost, reduce revenue generation, asset liquidation, and better internal coordination. If all of these things are there, these are the elements of the turnaround strategy, guys. Next comes reasons for turnaround strategy. So why should the company turn around? We will see quickly. Now coming to reasons for turnaround strategy. In that, the first one they are saying is the company itself is no longer wishing to remain in that business, or management feels that if I sell off one part of business, then I will become better. So it can be made viable by divesting some or part of the activities, or they made some merger, but after coming together they found out that they cannot live together, so ultimately divorce only. So acquired proves to be a mismatch. Now they saw the negative cash flows are there, they're trying to increase their revenue, but it is not happening. Negative cash flows is persistently there. If it is there, then that is also a reason for retrenchment or turnaround strategy. Technology keeps changing, technology keeps upgrading. If you do not upgrade yourself along with the technology, then compulsorily you have to retrench only or turn around only. So all of these points are the reasons for retrenchment or turnaround strategy, guys. Now coming back to our expected questions list, we saw what is intensification, we saw this mergers and acquisition, we saw strategic alliance, we saw conditions or indicators for turnaround, we saw reasons for turnaround strategy, elements of turnaround. Now in red, very very important, divestment, reasons and characteristics. When will you go for divestment? Divestment means what? You are selling a part of your company. That is divestment strategy. Sale or liquidation of a portion of the business or a major division, or you're selling a profit center, or you're selling a strategic business unit. Basically you're just chopping your hand off, because sometimes what will happen, if this hand is there, that disease will spread through the whole body. So it's better to chop the hand. Like that a company will think, and they will sell a part of them, or they liquidate a portion of the business. That is divestment strategy. What is important question here is they can ask reasons for divestment strategy or characteristics of divestment strategy. When will you go for divestment strategy? Let me quickly tell you. A business has been acquired, proved to be a mismatch. Again, persistent negative cash flows. Again, severity of competition. It is too high. It is not possible to do technological upgradation, or a better alternative may be available for investment. Similar points did we see up for turnaround strategy also. So please make note of this. two questions, the same answers you can write. Mismatch, persistent negative cash flows, high competition, technological upgradation, too much it is happening in the industry, and alternatives is there for the investment. These 5 points. Now, what is the characteristics of divestment strategy? The strategy involves divestment of some of the activities in the given business of the firm or sell out of some of the businesses as such. Divestment was viewed as integral part of corporate strategy without any stigma attached. Very, very important. Usually if somebody says அது சரியா போகல, so I sold that off, what are you going to think? He does not know how to do business. He did not know how to do business. He's making lots of losses. That's why he sold that. Like that, you're going to think. There is always a stigma attached. But if that is only good for the company, don't think about that stigma and just sell that off. Just divest that part. No problem. Like that, they're saying. This is characteristics of divestment. Only two are there. This strategy involves divestment of some of the activities of the firm or sell out some of the businesses. Here, it does not have to have any stigma. How? Should only loss-making business go for turnaround strategy? Only loss-making business go for divestment strategies? No, not at all. If you are expecting a particular growth and if that growth is not there, there is lots of upgradation. Future, what will happen? No one knows. Artificial intelligence, nobody knows what will happen. No future clarity. Or target I'm having, but I'm not achieving the target year on year. Then also there is some problem with the strategy. So turnaround strategy, not only for loss making business, but in these three cases also you can do a turnaround strategy, guys. Next, what is all these matrices which is given? And under matrix, in General Electric matrix, market attractiveness and business strength, how can they be measured? Like that a question can be asked. Let's quickly go through the matrix itself. That will be helpful for you for your final exam preparation. Now, strategic options key, the first one is ANSOF's product market growth matrix. Name, is it important? Yes, definitely it is important. They can ask only with the name also. ANSOF's product market growth matrix. Product market means in the x-axis there's going to be products and in the y-axis there's going to be markets. If you remember just this, automatically everything is going to fall in place. I told you x-axis they're talking about products, y-axis they're talking about matrix. In every matrix, guys, just understand what is there in the x-axis, what is there in the y-axis, and whether it is a 2x2 or 4x4 or 3x3 matrix, you are sorted. You will be able to fill in everything inside. Now here I told you x-axis is products, y-axis is market. Now same product, same market means market penetration, you already know. New product, same market means product development. New market, same product means market development, and both are new means it is diversification. Like this, if you study, it will be very, very easy. Example here they have given about Gucci, a luxury clothing brand. Please go through that. Next is ADL matrix. ADL matrix is a 5x4 matrix where they are talking about product life cycle. Product life cycle nale introduction, growth, maturity and decline. Same, introduction is given as embryonic, growth, maturity and decline. Here on the y-axis they are talking about dominant, strong, favorable, tenable and weak. Weak means you know they are almost gone. Tenable means they are trying to come up now only. Favorable means market is favorable for the company but not very strong. Next comes strong, next comes dominant. Dominant means they are super player, they are the only player. Other players are all small. There is one top player, that is him only, that is dominant. So if it is dominant, you don't even have to see whichever stage, fully it is tick, green, 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 green. If it is strong, now last 4 always it is green. First 4 always it is red. Remember, whenever you go to red, you have to first be in yellow or orange, then only go to red. So first orange, then only red. Now first 4 red, next one there has to be one red, but first you have to go to orange, then only red. So first they went to orange. Next orange, then one red. Next if you see one orange and 2 reds, one orange and 3 reds. Like that they keep going. If you just remember, the first one is fully green, the last one is fully red, but before going to red they have to stay in orange for some time, then only go to red. Red means harvest, turn around, withdraw, divest, retrench. That is only red. Green means growth, renew, leadership is so good, they can build the barriers, they can act offensively, they can do focus strategies. All of these things are green. So just understand the colors here where you have to put what. I hope you understood also the first row is fully red, last row is first row is fully green, last row is fully red, and before going to red they have to compulsorily be in yellow or orange only. Next comes BCG growth matrix. What is the meaning of BCG growth share matrix? X-axis relative market share is there, Y-axis growth rate is there. If both are high, market share is also high, growth rate is also high, then you will call them as stars here. So usually content creators and all, if you see, they are TikTok stars. So growth share, yes, content creators, growth is increasing heavily. Market share, do they have? Yes, they have very good market share. So they come under stars category. What is this? Question mark. Question mark means market share is low but growth rate is high. Example, VR, metaverse and all, growth is very, very high. But have they already captured the market? No, market share is low. So it is always a question mark whether VR will take over entire technology and all. What is this cash cows? Growth rate is low and market share is very, very high. For example, Google search, MS Office, if you see, no one else is there to compete. Market share is very high, but are they growing year on year? No, same customers only. MS Office, Excel and all, there is no competitor. Market share extremely high, but growth rate not that much. They are all cash cows. That means you can still make money from them. What is this? Dogs, both are low. Growth is also low. Market share is also low. Floppy disk, DVD player, landline, all of these will fall under dogs category where market share is low, growth is also low. Like this, if you are able to remember the examples for each of the dabbas, then easily whatever question they ask, what is the market share, what is the growth rate, you are going to see both and you are going to do it. So remember guys, BCG growth matrix means it's a 2x2 matrix and they are talking about market share and growth rate in both axes. In ADL matrix, what are they talking about? They're talking about product life cycle, introduction, growth, maturity and aging in the x-axis, and they're talking about dominant, strong, favorable, tenable and weak in the y-axis, and this is a 5x4 matrix. The General Electric matrix is a 3x3 matrix guys. General Electric matrix, 3x3 matrix. Here in the expected question, I told you, here they are basically giving business strength and market attractiveness. Business strength on the x-axis and market attractiveness on the y-axis. How are you determining what is business strength? How are you determining what is market attractiveness? That is there in the expected question. So let's quickly go through that. Business strength means size of the market, market growth rate, industry profitability, competitiveness, availability of technology, price trends, overall risk of returns, opportunity, demand variability, segmentation is there, distribution structure, it is there. If all of this is there, then you will call it business strength. So in this matrix, simply they do not put this. They saw all of these points and then they plotted it in the business strength. In the market attractiveness. Now if you come to business strength, market share, what is it there? Is it growing? What is the profit? How is the distribution? How is the brand image? What is the ability to compete on the price? Ability to compete on the quality? Are the customers loyal? What is the production capacity? What is the technological capacity? What is the cost position? What is the caliber of the management? All of this talks about business strength. And the previous point, size of the market, growth rate, competitive intensity, availability of technology, pricing trends, overall returns, demand variability, segmentation, all of this talks about market attractiveness. So how can you measure market attractiveness? How can you measure business strength? It can be a question. You have to write all these points. Only side headings given here, nothing inside. So just remember the side headings only. That itself is more than enough guys. Now with this, we have completed our chapter 4 expected questions also. Here only for this expected questions is given. Other than that, I have just told that other matrices can be tested for MCQs. Here two important in reds, that is divestment reasons and characteristics, and growth and expansion. What are the advantages and disadvantages of strategic alliance? They can ask in your exams guys. Chapter number 5. Here in chapter number 5, I have only given 7 questions for you. Previously, I've explained chapter number 5 actually has 6 subheadings: SM process, strategic change through digital management, and organizational framework, strategic leadership, strategic control, and strategic performance measures. Out of these 6 subheadings, I've already tested out of 4 subheadings in the previous attempt. 2 subheadings still not tested, that is strategic leadership and strategic control. I am saying based on trend that at least one question we can expect out of these 7 questions. Now, what is the strategic leadership and strategic control? Under strategic leadership, there are few questions. What are the leadership roles, interrelationship of elements, responsibilities, and what is the approach for leadership? Now, whenever we study something, if we correlate the topic with an example, is when we can remember it. Leadership nu sonale, the best leader everybody will agree is MS Dhoni. He is the best leader we have all seen. He keeps updating himself, whatever said and done. And now, under that, whatever is there, you please correlate it with MS Dhoni. You can remember all the points, guys. That is the reason why I am telling. Now, what is the leadership role that he is playing? Now, whatever happens, he has to know whatever happens around him, around cricket, he definitely has to stay on top of his game. That is the first point. Staying on top of whatever is happening. Now, promoting a culture of esprit de corps means what? Esprit de corps means team spirit is important. Now you all tell, there is a player and he has scored 48 runs. 2 more runs, just 2 runs he has to run to score a half century. But at this point, if he gets out, the next player who's coming in is very strong player and he will sweep and get a sixer and finish the game. At this time, it is prudent for him to actually get out and allow the other player to come inside, because that only is good for the team. So here, esprit de corps means individual comes next, team spirit only comes first. So as a leader, he has to promote the culture of esprit de corps, keeping the organization responsive to changing conditions. This change is the only constant case. So whatever change happens, the organization should not go down. It has to keep responding. In cricket also, leg side la potal adikra, off side la potal adikra, whatever side you put, he is hitting. So at that time also, you have to have something which is responsive to the changing conditions. Exercising ethical leadership. Now, there was a match in which India lost. What everyone told, the World Cup when India lost, Ricky Ponting, he had a spring in the bat. Can he have a spring in the bat? But still they told all those stories. If MS Dhoni won the match, can anybody tell stories like that about him? We all already know how ethical he is. So exercising ethical leadership is the 4th point. Pushing corrective actions to improve the strategy execution and the overall strategic performance. So here we saw 5 points for roles. We have 5 points. First one is staying on top of the game. Second is esprit de corps. Third is responsive to any changes. Fourth is he has to be ethical, and fifth is about corrective actions, guys. Now comes the second one, interrelationship of elements. He has to basically know everything. What and all he has to do: management, control, reward system, management, development, any feedback which he has to give to the players. He has to formulate a policy. There will be strategic timeout which is given. At that time, he will be formulating all the policies and he will be planning as to who has to do what, who has to go next, who is the batting person next. Everything planning has to be done. Environmental scanning. Where are we playing? How is the audience? Whom are they supporting for? Every single thing is important. Information systems for the company. Interrelationship of elements. If they ask, all of these points is expected out of you. The third one is the responsibilities, guys. What is the responsibility for a leader? First one, he has to make the decision. For making the decision, he has to formulate the action plan, the roadmap to go to that decision. Now, just if he keeps it with himself, is it going to be enough? No. He has to communicate to the people who are there in the organization. Now, when he is communicating to different people, there are going to be a hierarchy in the organization. Now, everybody has a different brain. Everybody will keep thinking differently. Managing the human capital is also very, very important. Now, I told you change is the only constant. Managing change in the organization is the next point. Now, every culture in the organization will be different. I worked in KPMG and Deloitte, a world of difference, especially with regard to culture, even though both of them are big fours, was definitely there. Now, when you have all of these things, you have a good culture, you know how to manage the change. A leader knows how to manage all the people who are there, that is managing the human capital, and the communication is seamlessly there inside the team, and strategic decision is made, policy and action is made. Then high performance தவிர வேற எதுவுமே கிடையாது. Sustaining high performance over time, that is the next point. So for responsibility, I think there are 7 points here, all 7 very important. A strategic leader's responsibilities, these 7 points. Now we are done with 5 leadership roles, interrelationship of elements, and responsibilities. The fourth one with strategic leadership is the approaches. Transformational approach and transactional approach. Now, I am a teacher, guys. Now, all of you are sitting in front of me. Now, if I am going to tell you, today I will give some homework. You have to finish the summary notes by yourself and come. Now, after going home, you are going to think, okay, I have phone. I will see the Instagram. You will do all of those things. You are not going to do the homework. Now, I'm going to tell you, guys, last few days, now tomorrow is the exam. You have to definitely do this. Like this, if I'm going to tell you, now there is a possibility some students can change. This is transformational leadership. I am telling some story. I am motivating you to do the work. Now, simple, I am going to tell whoever finishes the summary notes and come, they are going to get a gift from me. They are going to get a dairy milk silk from me. Like that, I am giving you something to get something from you. This is transactional leadership. Now, you've understood the concept. Now, let's quickly read the text. Transformational leadership style uses charisma and enthusiasm to inspire the people, to exert them for the good of the organization. Transformational leadership is appropriate whenever there is a turbulent environment. That means environment is keep on changing. If there is a turbulent environment, poorly performing organizations, where there is a need to inspire a company to embrace major changes. Transformational leaders offers excitement, vision, intellectual stimulation. What am I going to say? If you don't do, then I will not tell. No, you yourself will start thinking, ayyo, panlana enna agumo. Like that, intellectual stimulation and personal satisfaction. All of these are under transformational leadership. Now I am going to tell you, guys, please take a pen and paper and write how you are going to feel after becoming a chartered accountant. Now, I am inspiring you to dream. Now, after telling all of these things, if I give you that homework, what you are going to do? A very small thing, just another step to become a chartered accountant. You are going to think and you are going to do it. So, giving the followers a dream or the vision of a higher calling so as to elicit more dramatic changes in the organizational performance. Now, if you do all of those things, then the students are going to stretch their abilities. Now, this is going to increase their self-confidence, and then it will promote any innovation throughout the organization. This is transformational leadership, guys. What is transactional leadership? I give you something, so you are going to do the homework and throw it on my face. That is transactional leadership style. It focuses on designing systems and controlling the organizational activities that are more likely to be associated with improving the current situation. It enhances whatever is happening currently. It enhances the current practices. Here, what is happening? I'm going to give you a silk as a reward. Exchange of rewards happen in an organization. They give bonus, they give extra money such as pay, status, or they'll give a promotion. If you do this, I will give you a promotion. So this is more of a formalized approach in transactional leadership. Now we have completed one part for chapter number 5, which is strategic leadership, which is talking about leadership roles. There are 5 points here. Interrelated elements, that round we saw. Responsibilities, there are 7 points here. Approaches, transformational leadership, transactional leadership. Please remember 5 to 7 keywords for each transformational and transactional leadership. Keywords is given in red. Please go through that, guys. Now comes strategic control. There are only 3 questions here: elements, types, and types of organization control and types of strategic control. What is under elements, types of organizational control, and types of strategic control? Under types of organization control, there are 3 things: operational control, management control, and strategic control. Under types of strategic control, there are 4 things: premise control, strategic surveillance, special alert control, and implementation control. Just knowing the side heading is not going to fetch the mark. Let's please read the text which is there below. Now, whenever they talk about strategic control, example I told you is very, very important. So the example for this is parents. The parents, how they love to control their child. My parents specifically, full control of me, especially before marriage and all. Now, what are the elements for this? Why are they trying to control their child? Objectives of the business system, which could be operationalized into measurable and controllable standards. So they also have an objective. Girl child, she has to be safe. News and all I'm seeing, it is very, very worst. It should not happen to my child. So that is the objective. For this, they have a mechanism for monitoring and measuring the performance of the system. How they are going to monitor? Okay, she is going out. What time is she coming back home? Class got over at 5 o'clock. Why she came back only at 7 o'clock? Like that they are going to see. Now, she is saying after the class she went and studied with her friends. And now they are going to see the performance. If you studied so much after class also, why is your performance so weak? Like that they will be asking the questions. So, mechanism for monitoring and measuring the performance of the system. A mechanism for comparing the actual results with reference to standards. There will be one neighbor, there will be one brother or sister of yours who is very high in their performance. Automatically a comparison will happen. So a mechanism for comparing the actual results with reference to the standard. If there is any deviations from the standard, then they will deduct it. Now they will learn new insights on the standards themselves. Now, to whom we have kept that cousin? That cousin is engineering student. That's why she got 90 plus. You are CA student. How can I expect the same 90 plus from you also? Like that they are learning new insights on the standards itself. So here a mechanism for 3 things. The first one is comparing the actual results with the reference of standards. Second is for detecting the deviations from the standards. Third is learning new insights from the standards themselves. These 3 are there. The next one is a mechanism for feeding back the corrective action. That means feedback for corrective actions has to be given. In case too very, very far off from the objectives, then you have to please come back to the objectives, feedback for corrective actions. Here elements, there are 4 points. Under the third point, there is again 3 points. You have to remember that. First one is objective. Second is mechanism for monitoring and measurement of the performance. Third is mechanism for comparing the actual results, detecting the deviation and learning new insights of the standards itself. Fourth is mechanism for feedback for corrective actions. These 4 points are elements of strategic control, guys. What are the 3 types of organizational control? We saw what are the 3 types. It is operational control, management control, and strategic control. Operational control means they are going to have the control on each and every individual task that you do. In my house and all, if you see, if I sit my legs folded, they will say you should not sit like that. You have to sit with legs down only. Now, if you put your legs down and relaxed and sit, they'll say you should not sit like that also. This is called as operational control. Each and individual task, they are going to control of you on individual task or transactions as against the total or more aggregative management function. Here few examples for inventory and all they have given. Please go through that. What is management control? In some houses, definitely not my house and all, in some houses if they are going out, they will ask the question, when are you coming back? Like that they'll ask when you're going out with friends. Now if they're going to say 10 p.m, then they'll say no, 10 p.m is very late, please come back home at 8 p.m. In my house they will say if you're going out before sunset you have to come. When I'll know how sunset will come? 5:36 அதுக்குள்ள வீட்டுக்கு வரணும். That means management control means it is a collaborative approach. It is more inclusive, more aggregative. Who is talking about the management control? Robert Anthony. You have to remember his name. Robert Anthony is talking about management control, and he is saying it is the process by which managers assure the resources are obtained and used effectively and efficiently in the accomplishment of the organizational objectives. Now, all of these controls are only to achieve that objective ultimately. The next is strategic control. Strategic control means it focuses only on two questions: whether strategy is being implemented as per the plan, what is the result which is produced by the strategy, it is as per whatever it is intended to. So these two questions very important under the strategic control. Now here they are talking about there can be a gap between the formulation and the implementation part. Now what is this gap? All of these things you have to see. Now there are three things which we saw here. The first one is operational control, second is management control, and third is strategic control. If you remember the parents example, definitely there is no chance for you to forget in the exams, guys. Now comes types of strategic control. Under this there are four types. The first is premise control, strategic surveillance, special alert, and implementation control. What is this premise control? In my house premise control is very high. Who are her friends? Are they nanbas or nanbis? Nanbas na, why is he coming home? Why is only one person coming? Group study means many people should do. Only her and that boy, something is wrong. Like that they will do all the premise control. That means more than seeing me, they are going to see the people around me. That means they are going to see the environment of the organization. Over a period of time, these premises may not remain valid. Premise control is a tool for systematic and continuous monitoring of the environment to verify the validity and accuracy. It primarily involves two types of factors. What are the two things? Here they are going to see the environmental factors, that is inflation, liquidity, interest rate, technology, socio-cultural, all of these things for the organization, that is special analysis, all of those things you can write. Next is industry factors such as competitors, suppliers, and substitutes for the products. These two things if you write, you will get the good marks. So premise control, now they are going to see the environment, they are going to monitor the environment. Here two types of factors are there: environmental factors and industry factors. Second one is strategic surveillance. Strategic surveillance means what? This is unfocused surveillance. Surveillance nale you all know this CCTV surveillance. What is the CCTV surveillance going to do? It is going to have a broad view. It can see everything. Adile nee maatnana God. So this focus is not focused on you. The surveillance is unfocused. It is general monitoring. General monitoring of various sources of information to uncover unanticipated information having a bearing on the organization. So here, when you are going out, what my father will do, he will say, I will say friend is coming to pick me. What he will do, he will come down with me. He is going to see who is that friend, whether it is an Anba or an Anbi. Like that he will come and see. So that is casual environmental browsing. So he is coming down as if he also has a work, but he is going to do a casual environmental browsing. For organization, reading financial and other newspapers, reading the magazines, attending the meetings, attending conferences, discussions, and all of those things can help in strategic surveillance. Special alert control. Sometimes what happens? Unexpected events will come. Once when I went with group of friends, there were people who were taking photos in the cafe. What we did, me and Karthik sir, we posed for that photo. They put it in the newspaper. If it comes in newspaper, parents are going to see that unexpected event. If they see what will happen, they are going to reconsider their strategy itself. Now they are going to think, now I made a mistake. I allowed all the Nanbas and Nanbis to come home. Now see, they put a photo together. So they are reconsidering the strategy. A sudden change in the government. It felt like an earthquake in our house itself. Morning till night, no talking. It's like a natural calamity. Terrorist attack, unexpected merger, unexpected acquisition by competitors, industrial disaster. All of these things when it happens. Special alert controls. This is for unexpected events. Implementation control. Now what they are going to do, they are going to convert their major plans into concrete sequential actions. Now if I'm just going to have an objective, how am I going to reach that objective? I need to have incremental action plan to reach that objective. Now you're watching it just before your exam. Now before this you would have made so many plans, those incremental plans, that is the implementation controls. It converts major plans into concrete sequential actions that form incremental steps. Implementation control is directed towards assessing the need for changes in the overall strategy. Now after this disaster and all, they definitely have to change the overall strategy in light of unfolding events and results associated with incremental strategy. Under this implementation control, there is monitoring, strategic thrust and milestone reviews. Then what my father came and told me, that time inter student, you have to complete your inter by this date. Then articleship, by the 2.5 year period you have to complete the articleship. He gave me a date. Then final, in this date you have to complete. Like that they told. If you are going to complete in that date, then I can consider this boy. What they are going to tell, they are giving a milestone for me to achieve. All key activities necessary to implement the strategy are segregated in terms of time, events or major resource allocation. They gave the time. Sometimes they will give the resources in the organization. What they'll do, for this 1 year this much money you please manage by your own. Next 1 year this much money you please manage by your own. Like that incrementally they are going to give the money, that is resources. This is milestone review. Monitoring strategic thrust helps the manager to determine whether overall strategy is progressing as desired or whether any readjustments are required. Under this we saw premise control, strategic surveillance and special alert control, and types of strategic control. We saw premise control, strategic surveillance, special alert control and implementation control. Under implementation control we saw monitoring, strategic thrust and milestone reviews. With this, strategic control comes to an end, and if you see here, strategic leadership, strategic control, chapter number 5 completed, guys.